Hello and welcome to TCF 2022 in London. I'm Sam Allen for FinextraTV, and joining me here in the studio to talk about the challenges and of course the opportunities in payments, we have Mick Fennell from Temenos and Carlos Salta from Capgemini. Welcome, gentlemen, to the studio.
Hi, Sam.
Hi, Sam.
Lovely to see you both. So, Mick, let's talk about some of those challenges and drivers financial institutions face when it comes to their payments.
Listen, where do I start? Is probably the beginning. There's a lot of challenges out there. Maybe starting out from the technology itself, a lot of banks with technical debt, that they've got systems that have been around for a long time. And it's very hard to keep them up to date with all of the changes going on. Not just technology-wise, actually to keep them up with, there are lots of things that software systems are built on, that those components are changing all the time. But then you actually have the market out there. And the real challenge is keeping up with the opportunities that are out there for growing your business, for maintaining your business. Things like scalability.
Yep.
So we all see that the number of payments, especially in the digital world, I'll mention COVID, but what the pandemic has done is it's accelerated a move towards digitization. And what that means is that the volumes are going up, the performance required because people need more instant. And so all of the banks have to keep up with these things. They also have to keep up with new services like request to pay, buy now, pay later. All of these kind of new services, they've got to introduce them, they've got to keep up with the competition. So there's a constant race within the bank to do this, not just in their domestic head office, but across the whole organization.
With challenges, I'm pleased to say there always comes opportunities. So Carlos, what are these opportunities financial institutions can capitalize on if they rise above the challenges that Mick was alluding to?
I think it's a great question. I think it's a great way of framing the problem as well, because as Mick mentioned, we've sat with a legacy and we've come from a certain background where we have certain constraints, but equally we are a fast evolving market, a fast evolving society in terms of its changing demands and needs. And I think the opportunity that comes with this is not only in terms of the modernization, but the transformation of the proposition, what you can take to customers, how you can add value, how you can make it easier and simpler for them to do business and do the transaction and the payment across the board. But also in terms of how you drive that in terms of not your straight-through processing levels. So improving the customer experience by real-time processing from start to finish, improving the levels of control, reducing the levels of fraud, but also looking to operate and standardize some of your operations internally, therefore to reduce your overall costs. So you've reduced your operational costs, your business costs, your technology costs, and you've improved your customer satisfaction and your customer proposition as you've gone through that line. So I think as we look at the world out there, yes, there's always these changes out there, whether they be regulatory or compliance or transformational, digital transformational requirements, but fundamentally this presents the opportunity to deliver better outcome for all parties concerned.
So I'd like to ask you both, put you both on the spot. How are Capgemini and Temenos collaborating to help financial institutions with payments modernization? So what are the key features that the customers will be interested in?
Well, the first thing is to talk about where we're targeting as partners working together. And what we noticed within the market and within the payments world, there's a lot of focus on head offices. A lot of the changes in modernization where they start with the head offices. And what that means is that a lot of the branch networks, the international side of the larger institutions are sometimes left behind. And they face just as many challenges because each of their countries, they've got new instant payment schemes, they're moving to ISO 20022, they've also got competitive challenges in their own markets. And sometimes they struggle to keep up there. And the IT groups are having to upgrade and maintain all of this software around that network. Huge challenges. Now, we, as a company, Temenos, we are so familiar with that. We have a huge amount of our customers where we manage their entire organizations are running on our platform. And so what we started to work with Capgemini on is how can we help those organizations? How can we help them? And their biggest challenge is around regulation, keeping up with all of the changes. That can be technical regulation, but also the market regulation. Payments are constantly changing, new rules constantly being introduced, no matter where you are around the world. And so how can we help organizations, how can we remove that problem from them? And there's a number of ways that we're doing that. One, obviously, is we can actually take and run their software for them. We can move it to the cloud, and the cloud gives us some great features, right? The cloud gives us scalability, it gives us flexibility. As we roll out our platform, our composable banking platform, we're able to give them, I was almost going to say snippets, but we're giving them services that they can take, they can add to their environment, and actually over time evolve and modernize their platform. So really one of the ways we're working together is to target those specific challenges that banks are facing.
I agree with that completely, Mick. I think you mentioned a couple of things there in terms of a robust, reliable technical platform. One that is in the cloud, that is flexible, agile, but also I think not only does it introduce flexibility and agility, but it introduces reachability. And what I mean by that is the ability to provide a great service across the board at a lower cost to all your various regions, departments, branches, and therefore actually take everybody a step forward and deliver better outcomes, better service, and better proposition at the end of the day. And where we as Capgemini work a lot with Temenos in the space is we look to leverage their strong technical platform and their strong technical capability and regulatory capability that goes behind that, but wrap that with the ability to work with organizations in how do you look to harmonize and standardize some of this and optimize this across multiple geographies and multiple branches, using our strong domain knowledge in payments across the globe, and we've been doing world payments reports, for example, for about 17 odd years. But also then how do we wrap that with some of the other non-technical services that you need to run an end-to-end payment capability, whether that be some of the business services side, the technical operations side, the technical integration side. That's where we come into play, and that's where we're looking to help clients to actually deliver better outcomes at lower cost.
Yeah, and that's what the combination is. You know, we're experts in our software. We're experts in payments, we're experts in banking. And those organizations that buy into the Temenos platform, we're able to, we have a huge ecosystem of functionality and processing to give them. All, of course, looking to try and be the best that we can be in the banking world, to actually deliver better outcomes for the bank themselves. And working with Capgemini, who have enormous expertise in both implementing, but then in maintaining and running these systems. So it really is a match made in heaven, and we've been working together, for many years, the two companies. But for us, the technology side of things, it's also about, we talk about API driven, we talk about instant processing, we talk about ISO 20022 and those standards. We talk about all the local clearings. We talk about making people more efficient, making people STP, straight through processing. How efficient can we make each of these organizations in processing payments so that they don't have to think about it? They know that they can actually, hey, there's a new opportunity in the market. Yeah. We can actually grab that because we have this partnership with Temenos and Capgemini that can take that on. And so what we're saying is we'll take on the responsibility of ensuring that your platform is maintained, that the skills required to run your payments business is maintained, that people know what they're doing, but also that we can help them then expand out what they're doing and introduce new services. So,
and just adding to that on the new services side, I think one of the things that one of the reasons why we partner so strategically and so intensely with Temenos in this is they have a very well-established payments capability, but they have a lot of surround capability, which we believe adds value to the overall payment proposition and payment ecosystem, whether it be on the fraud side, on the channel side, or even some of the things like you've seen here at TCF this week, buy now, pay later. Those are obvious bolt-ons that go around the payments ecosystem, where we think we can bring together with Temenos a better proposition to market.
So plenty of opportunities to overcome those challenges in partnership, agility, flexibility, reachability. The future's looking bright.
It really is.
Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.